All right, let's get right into it. There's this book, Miracle Morning Millionaires, and it makes a pretty huge claim. It says the real secret to wealth isn't just about hustle and grind, but it's about what you do before pretty much everyone else is even awake, specifically before 8 a.m. So today, we're going to unpack the big ideas from Hal Elrod and David Osborn's work.
But let me ask you something first. How does your morning start? Is it the blaring alarm, then immediately grabbing your phone, seeing a flood of emails, and just feeling like you're already losing the day? If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. You see, the authors say most of us fall into one of two groups. First, you've got the overwhelmers. These are the people in that constant fire drill, just reacting to everything all day long. Then you have the underwhelmers, who kind of feel like they're just drifting, watching life happen to them instead of for them. And for both groups, that feeling is usually topped with a nice, thick layer of financial stress. So what's the solution? Well, here's the big twist in the book. This isn't about punishing yourself by waking up an hour earlier just to have a longer, more exhausting day. No. The point isn't about waking up earlier. It's about waking up better. It's about being intentional with that first hour.
So how do you do that? Well, this brings us to the actual game plan. The book wants you to think of your morning as your very first and maybe most important investment of the day, way before you even think about the stock market or your business. And it's all built around a simple acronym, S-A-V-E-R-S.
So S-A-V-E-R-S stands for 6 key practices. You've got silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing, which, is really just a fancier way of saying writing or journaling. The idea is that you combine these to create this powerhouse morning routine. For example, exercise gives you that physical energy, while scribing helps you get total mental clarity. They're all super important, but let's just zoom in on a couple to see how powerful they really are.
Okay, so that first letter, S, stands for silence. Now, this isn't just about not talking. It's about purposeful quiet. Think meditation, prayer, or just some deep, focused breathing. I love this quote from Kristen Bell because it just nails it. It gives your mind the space to let things unfold before the chaos of the day rushes in. And this isn't just some feel-good idea either. The science is there to back it up. We're talking about physically lowering your cortisol, that's your mean stress hormone, and reducing your blood pressure. In fact, a Harvard study found that meditation can actually increase gray matter in the parts of your brain that are linked to learning, memory, and self-awareness. Pretty incredible, right? Now, let's talk about the crazy impact of a tiny habit. Take the R for reading. 10 pages a day. That sounds like almost nothing, doesn't it? You could do that while your coffee brews. But look at the math. 10 pages a day adds up to 3,650 pages in a year. You know what that is? That's about 18 200-page books. 18. Imagine how much you'd learn, how much you'd grow just from that one tiny habit. Okay, this idea of programming your mind for success brings us to the next 2 letters. Affirmations and visualization. Now, let's be honest. These are the 2 that can sometimes feel a little out there, but the book gives a really practical, no-nonsense way to make them actually work for you. So here's the number 1 mistake people make with affirmations. They basically lie to themselves, right? You stand in the mirror and say, I am a millionaire, but your brain knows your bank account says something very different. That creates internal conflict. So the fix is simple. You affirm your commitment, which is always true, saying, I am 100% committed to becoming a millionaire. Now, that's a statement your brain can actually get behind. The second trop is using passive, wishy-washy language. Saying, I am a money magnet is nice, but what do you do with that? A truly effective affirmation has to be tied to action, so you upgrade it. And to achieve that goal, I am committed to making 40 prospecting calls every single day. See the difference? That's not a wish, that's a battle plan. And that connects perfectly to visualization. Here's the cool part. Because of these things in your head called mirror neurons, your brain actually has a really hard time telling the difference between something you imagine vividly and something you actually experience. So when you visualize yourself crushing those 40 calls, you're literally wiring your brain for success before you even pick up the phone. Okay, so you've used S-A-V-E-R-S to take control of your morning. You're feeling energized and focused. What's next? This is where the book pivots to the core financial mindset that this whole routine unlocks. It's a concept called leverage, or as they call it, the millionaire multiplier. So what even is leverage? Well, in the simplest terms, it's the art of getting a much bigger result from the same amount of effort or even less.
It's the classic work smarter, not harder, but on steroids. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Most of us are taught to think in terms of addition. I work one more hour, I get one more hour's worth of pay. I save $100, my bank account goes up by $100. It's linear. But millionaires? They think in terms of multiplication. They invest their time, their money, and their energy into things that create exponential returns. Things like building systems, hiring a great team, or buying assets that work for them. They're not just adding, they're multiplying. And all of this, the morning routine, the mindset shift, it all leads to the final and honestly the most profound piece of the puzzle. The whole point of the Miracle Morning isn't really about building better habits or even just about making more money. It's about consciously choosing to become more than you are right now. This quote from the legendary Jim Rohn is really the beating heart of the whole philosophy. Your level of success will seldom exceed your level of personal development. You don't chase success. You don't hunt it down. Success is something you attract by the person you become. That daily S.A.V.E.R.S routine, that's the engine that drives your personal development. The authors leave you with this really powerful metaphor. Picture two doors in front of you. Behind door number 1 is the life you have right now, the good, the bad, all of it. But behind door number 2, that's the unlived life that's inside of you. It's the person you know you could be, with all the potential you haven't tapped into yet. The Miracle Morning, that's the key to opening that second door. So in the end, it's not about adding something to your life. It's about making a trade. You give up the person who hits the snooze button, the person who procrastinates, the person who feels overwhelmed, and you trade them for the person who is capable of achieving absolutely anything. So the only question left is the one you have to ask yourself. What trade are you willing to make tomorrow morning?